Let's be honest about where you are. You are here because you are in pain. Maybe you have been left by someone you loved. Maybe you have been betrayed by a friend you trusted. Or maybe you are just terrified of the possibility of losing them. You feel a tightness in your chest. You feel a void in your stomach. You wake up in the morning, and for a split second, you are fine. And then the memory hits you like a physical blow. They are gone, and the world feels colder. You tell yourself that this pain is proof of how much you loved. You tell yourself that this suffering is noble. But I'm here to tell you the truth. A truth that might make you angry, but will eventually set you free. You are not in pain because of love. You are in pain because of dependency. You are in pain because you have committed the fundamental error of the human condition. You built your home on land that does not belong to you. You took your happiness, your stability, and your peace of mind, and you placed it in the hands of another human being. A human being who is flawed, changeable, and mortal. And when they moved, or when they left, or when they died, your house collapsed. Most men live their entire lives as emotional beggars. They walk around with an empty cup, begging others to fill it with validation, with attention, with love. And when the person holding the pitcher walks away, they shatter. This is not strength. This is slavery. If your peace depends on the behavior of someone else, you are a slave to that person. If your joy depends on their presence, you are a hostage. The Stoics offered a different path, a path of absolute invulnerability. They did not teach us to be cold. They did not teach us to be heartless robots who feel nothing. That is a misunderstanding. They taught us how to love without attachment. They taught us how to build an inner citadel, a fortress inside the mind that no one can enter without permission and no one can destroy by leaving. In this deep dive, we are going to dismantle your heartbreak. We are going to look at the biology of your pain, the philosophy of ownership, and the dark tools of detachment. I am going to teach you how to stand alone, completely whole, so that you never have to fear being hurt again. Let's begin with the root of the problem. Chapter 1. The Curse of Ownership. Why does it hurt when you lose something? If you rent a car for a week and at the end of the week you return it to the dealership, do you cry? Do you fall to your knees and scream at the sky? Do you feel betrayed? Number. Why? Because you knew from the very beginning that it was not yours. You knew it was a loan. You enjoyed it while you had it, and you returned it when the time came. But when it comes to people, we suffer from a delusion, the delusion of ownership. We say, my wife, my husband, my child, my friend. The word my is the most dangerous word in the English language. It implies possession. It implies that this person belongs to you permanently. But this is a lie. Epictetus, the great Stoic teacher, said something that sounds brutal to modern ears, but is the antidote to your suffering. He said, "Never say of anything, 'I have lost it,' but 'I have returned it.' Is your child dead? It is returned. Is your wife dead? She is returned. Is your estate taken away? Well, and is not that likewise returned?" This is the shift you must make. Nothing in this world belongs to you. Not your house, not your money, not your body, and certainly not the people you love. Everything is a loan from the universe. Fate hands you a person. It says, "Here, spend time with this person. Learn from them, love them, enjoy them, but be ready, because at any moment I might ask for them back." When you view a relationship as a permanent possession, you are living in denial of reality. You are fighting against the nature of the universe, and when you fight reality, you lose. But when you view a relationship as a temporary loan, everything changes. First, your anxiety disappears. You stop trying to control them because you know you cannot possess them. Second, your gratitude increases. You appreciate every moment you have with them because you know the clock is ticking. The modern mind says, "I cannot live without you." The Stoic mind says, I love you, but I do not need you. I was a whole person before I met you, and I will be a whole person after you leave. This is not a lack of love. This is the purest form of love. It is love between two free people, not two codependent hostages. You must accept that everyone you love is a traveler passing through your life. Some will stay for 50 years, some will stay for 50 days, but eventually they all leave. Either they walk away or death takes them. If you accept this now, you become invincible. If you deny it, you are setting yourself up for a catastrophe. Now, you might be thinking, I understand the philosophy, but I still feel the pain physically. That is because your brain is currently under attack. Let's look at the science. Chapter 2. The biology of attachment. We need to stop romanticizing heartbreak. We need to stop writing poetry about it and start looking at the MRI scans. What is actually happening inside your skull when you are heartbroken? Neuroscience tells us that romantic love activates the exact same neural pathways as cocaine addiction. When you are with someone you love, your brain releases a cocktail of chemicals: oxytocin, the bonding hormone; dopamine, the reward neurotransmitter; serotonin, the stabilizer. Over time, your brain gets addicted to the specific chemical signature of that person. You rely on them to regulate your own biology. When that person leaves, the supply is cut off. Instantly, your brain goes into massive withdrawal. This is not a metaphor, it is biological reality. The physical pain you feel, the chest tightness, the nausea, the shaking, is your body screaming for its fix. You are a junkie going through detox. Your brain starts to panic. The amygdala, the fear center, goes into overdrive. It tells you, we are isolated, we are in danger, we are going to die. This is why you do irrational things. This is why you check their social media profile 100 times a day. Every time you see their picture, you get a tiny, microscopic hit of dopamine. It's not enough to satisfy you, but it's enough to keep the addiction alive. You are picking the scab off the wound over and over again and wondering why it won't heal. So, how do we break this loop? You must use your prefrontal cortex, the logical, stoic CEO of your brain, to override the animal impulse. You have to treat this like a medical detox. If you were trying to quit heroin, would you keep a syringe on your nightstand? Would you hang out with your dealer? No. You would go no contact. You must cut the neural pathway. Every time you stalk them, every time you look at old photos, every time you listen to your song, you are strengthening the neural connection that causes you pain. You are reinfecting yourself. You have to starve the beast. When the urge comes to reach out or to wallow in sadness, you must recognize it for what it is. It is not destiny calling you. It is a drop of dopamine craving attention. Tell yourself, I am not sad, I am detoxing. My brain is recalibrating to a new reality. This process takes time. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, is real, but it is slow. It requires discipline. You have to force your brain to find new sources of dopamine. You have to build new neural highways that do not include that person. The weak man lets his biology control him. He becomes a slave to his withdrawal symptoms. The Stoic man understands his biology, observes the craving, and chooses not to act on it. He endures the withdrawal because he knows that on the other side of the pain is freedom. Chapter 3. Seneca and the Exile. Now that we understand the biology of addiction, we must look at the history of resilience. Theory is one thing, but we need proof. We need to see a man who lost everything and did not break. We need to talk about Seneca. Imagine for a moment that you are living the perfect life. You are Seneca. You are one of the wealthiest men in Rome. You are a powerful senator. You are the advisor to the emperor. You have a beautiful wife, a loving family, and estates across the empire. You are respected, admired, and comfortable. Then, in a single afternoon, everything vanishes. In the year 41 AD, Seneca was accused, falsely, of conspiracy. The Emperor Claudius sentenced him to exile. Soldiers came to his house. They gave him minutes to pack. They dragged him away from his weeping family. They stripped him of his titles. They confiscated his wealth. He was thrown onto a boat and dumped on the island of Corsica. Now today, Corsica is a holiday destination, but 2,000 years ago, it was a barren, hostile rock. It was a prison without walls. There was no culture, no philosophy, no friends, no comfort, just jagged rocks, harsh winds, and barbaric locals who didn't speak his language. Seneca spent 8 years on that rock. 8 years of isolation, 8 years of waking up every morning knowing that his life back in Rome was over. Now, how would the average modern man react to this? He would collapse. He would scream at the injustice. He would fall into a deep depression. He would beg and plead for mercy. He would let his mind rot with bitterness and resentment. But Seneca was a Stoic. Instead of falling apart, Seneca went to work. He didn't just survive, he thrived. In the midst of that desolation, he wrote some of the most profound philosophical works in human history. In fact, he wrote a letter to his mother, Helvia, who was devastated by his exile. Think about the irony of this. The victim, the man living on a rock, was writing a letter to comfort the person living in freedom. In that letter, he wrote these powerful words: "I am never as content as when I am alone. My mind is its own kingdom." He realized a fundamental truth. The emperor could take his money, he could take his status, he could take his physical freedom, he could take his friends, but he could not take his mind. Seneca said, "All that is mine, I carry with me." This is the level of detachment we are aiming for. Seneca did not need Rome to be happy. He carried his happiness inside him. He was self-sufficient. Ask yourself right now, if you were stripped of everything you have, your partner, your job, your house, your Instagram followers, would you still be you, or would you be nothing? If your identity is tied to things that can be taken away, you are already dead. You just don't know it yet. To build this kind of resilience, we need a specific tool. A tool that is terrifying to the average person, but essential for the Stoic. Chapter 4. Premeditatio Malorum, the darkest tool. Most self-help gurus tell you to think positive. They tell you to visualize success. They tell you to manifest your dreams. Stoicism teaches the exact opposite. Stoicism teaches us to visualize disaster. This technique is called Premeditatio Malorum, the premeditation of evils. The reason you get hurt, the reason you are shocked when tragedy strikes, is because you are arrogant enough to believe it won't happen to you. You live in a bubble of safety. You think, my partner will never leave me. My parents will live forever. My health is guaranteed. This is a fragile way to live. When reality hits, and it always hits, you shatter because you were not ready. I want us to do an exercise right now. I want you to listen to my voice and follow me into the dark. Close your eyes if you can. Imagine the person you love most in the world. Your partner, your child, your best friend. Visualize their face. Visualize their smile. Feel the warmth of their presence. Now, imagine a phone ringing. You pick it up. A voice on the other end tells you there has been an accident. They are gone. Don't push the thought away. Let it sit there. Imagine the funeral. Imagine walking back into your empty house. Imagine the silence. Imagine the clothes still hanging in the closet. Imagine the toothbrush still by the sink. Feel the weight of that loss. Feel the emptiness. Why am I making you do this? Is it to make you depressed? Is it to make you morbid? No, it is to wake you up. Open your eyes. If you truly did that exercise, 2 things just happened. First, the shock of loss has been reduced. You have already walked through the fire in your mind, so if it happens in reality, you will not be paralyzed. You have been there before. Second, and more importantly, you now feel an overwhelming surge of gratitude. When you see that person later today, you won't look at them while scrolling on your phone. You won't argue with them about dirty dishes. You won't take them for granted. You will look at them as a temporary miracle. You will hug them tighter because you know that one day you will let go. Epictetus gave us the most brutal advice in the history of philosophy regarding this. He said, "When you kiss your child goodnight, whisper to yourself, 'He may not wake up tomorrow.'" This sounds horrific to the weak mind. It sounds like a curse. But to the Stoic mind, it is the ultimate blessing. It means, I will not waste this moment. I will not be angry. I will not be distant. I will love you with everything I have right now, because right now is all we have. By accepting the possibility of loss, you eliminate the fear of it. And when you eliminate the fear of loss, you can finally love freely. Chapter 5. Building the Inner Citadel. Finally, we arrive at the ultimate defense, the structure that protects you from all pain. Marcus Aurelius called it the Inner Citadel. You must understand that there are two worlds, the external world and the internal world. The external world is a storm. It is chaotic. People lie, people cheat, economies crash, viruses spread. You have zero control over the storm. If your happiness lives in the external world, in people's opinions, in their loyalty, in their validation, you will be tossed around like a small boat in a hurricane. You will be seasick for your entire life. You must build a fortress inside. The inner citadel is a place in your mind where you are completely self-sufficient. It is a place where you validate yourself. Most people are terrified of being alone. If they sit in a room by themselves for 30 minutes without a phone, they start to panic. They feel lonely. Why? Because they are in bad company. They do not like themselves. They need the noise of other people to drown out their own thoughts. To be a Stoic, you must master the art of solitude. Solitude is not loneliness. Loneliness is the pain of being alone. Solitude is the glory of being alone. You must reach a point where you enjoy your own company so much that other people are just a bonus, not a necessity. You must become your own best friend, your own father, and your own hero. When you build this inner citadel, rejection loses its power. If someone leaves you, you don't collapse. You simply retreat into your fortress. You lock the gates. You look around at your strength, your virtue, your mind, and you realize, I am still whole. I didn't lose myself. I just lost a visitor. We have covered the curse of ownership, the biology of heartbreak, the resilience of Seneca, the visualization of loss, and the inner citadel. But knowledge is not enough. You must do the work. The next time you feel that ache in your chest, the next time you feel the panic of abandonment, remember this. You are not a half person looking for your other half. That is a myth sold to you by movies. You are a whole universe. You are a rock in the middle of the ocean. The waves of life will crash against you. People will come and wash over you like water. Some will be warm, some will be cold. Some will be gentle, some will be violent. But the rock does not move. The rock does not beg the water to stay. The water leaves, but the rock remains. Be the rock. Love deeply, but hold loosely. Appreciate the loan while you have it, and return it with grace when the time comes. If you are ready to build a mind that is immune to pain, a mind that is truly sovereign, then you are in the right place. Subscribe to the channel. Join the few who refuse to be slaves to their emotions. Walk your path. Stand in your fortress and never let them see you bleed. Stay stoic.